why some bureaucracies have more influence than others. Despite this, there is little doubt that public bureaucracies play a more powerful role in the day-to-day lives of citizens in large urban areas than they do in less populous rural areas. Why? It is not because bureaucracy is more power-hungry in cities, but rather because populations that are more concentrated require more rules. Building codes are more critical in urban areas because of the associated fire safety and health risks. A problem with one building can pose risks for those working or living in the surrounding buildings. Building regulations thus tend to be more detailed, and the enforcement of these rules tends to be a higher priority in urban than in rural areas. In this sense, urban areas do have more bureaucracy than rural areas. Measuring bureaucratic effectiveness, it does a better job than you think. So far, our application of the comparative method has given us a sense of how big bureaucracy is and why it is so big, because characteristics such as urbanization and geography result in different demands being placed on government. These different demands translate into public agencies of different sizes and with varying levels of involvement in our day-to-day lives. What the comparative method has not told us is how good, or bad, a job public agencies do. The widespread belief is that such agencies are, at best, mediocre managers of public programs and services. Although this negative stereotype is held by many, for the most part it is wrong. Public agencies, as it turns out, are very good at what they do. How good? Well, in many cases, they are at least as good as, if not better than, their private sector counterparts. The assumption is that the private sector is more efficient and more effective than the public sector, but numerous studies have found that this assumption is based more on stereotypes than on facts. For example, contracting out is a term used to describe having private or non-profit organizations rather than government agencies deliver public services. The basic idea is that rather than using an expensive and inefficient bureaucracy to provide a public good or service, the job is awarded to an outside organization through a competitive bidding process. The bidder that can do the best job with the least charge to the taxpayer gets the business, and government reaps the efficiency benefits of the market. At least, that's the theory. The record of contracting out in practice is much more mixed. While it certainly works well in some circumstances, it is far from being a magic bullet. Problems often associated with contracting out include a loss of accountability and transparency, difficulty in specifying contracts to cover all possible contingencies, example who bears the costs if bad weather delays road construction, and a clash of public service versus make a profit value systems. All this can create conflict between private contractors and governments, conflict that can be messy, litigious, and expensive. After experimenting with contracting out, governments often end up deciding that it causes more headaches than it's worth. This is a pretty common experience. Local governments that contract out services frequently bring those services back in-house after a year or two. One review of the by now extensive pile of research studies on contracting out finds pretty mixed results. Contracting out might cut costs in some circumstances, but it also creates new management and oversight problems for governments and creates clashes between private and public sector values. The bottom line seems to be that a traditional public bureaucracy might seem old-fashioned, but it generally can be counted on not just to get the job done but also to be responsive to its elected bosses rather than to its profit-loss statement. Although popularly viewed as inferior to their private sector counterparts, public agencies actually come out equal to or better than the private sector on a wide range of employee characteristics used to identify effective or become a powerful tool to either support non-biased and gender fair play, Evans, 1998, and role identification, or lay a foundation of stereotypical behavior. Process-oriented art towards enhanced cultural learning similar to Vygotsky, Lim, 2004, creative expressive arts therapists such as Medit, 2004, and Malchiodi, 2003, agree that children's artwork should not be product-driven, but rather process-oriented. So, how can school play performances be planned and presented while considering the seminal work of Vygotsky and those that follow? should be planned and produced according to the stages of childhood development. Instead of adults selecting popular adult songs, lyrics for school play performances need to be selected through the active engagement of children. The whole process of song selection can in itself present a learning opportunity to engage children in thinking what they like about the music they listen to, what grabs their attention when they listen to a song, and how they can move to the music.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Costumes need to be tailored to suit the developmental level of child performers, by, once again, engaging children in the process of the stage production. A school play should present children with an experience, since an event that is
Scripture becomes harmony, becomes composition. Define our temple and threads will sew the windows open.
Their blood is the sand itself. And as Ada stated when we first discovered it, it tends to start breaking down atomic bonds as any matter it has physical contact with. For Eds, it means connection.
I didn't mean to go to AFK, I meant to go to this. Oops. Anyways, I gave Ion 200, only Ion 125 for 6.75, which dropped an overall score of 6.29. I think that's fair. Ion is the second lowest attempt count. That is it. Third lowest difficulty. One is the third, the fourth lowest Deco score. And is 11th in gameplay. Ryan is 18th overall. Towards the bottom. Wonderful. Time to pick the next level. My own level. Okay. Time to verify if, I suppose. Whoa!